Coming live from the studio, this is All Sports with Gerardo. Thank you for watching another episode of All Sports. This is your host Gerardo, and all I talk is sports. On the show today, I am going to talk about NFL football, Major League Baseball, NBA basketball, and NHL hockey. Before I start the show, I hope you all had a great week. To start off with Major League Baseball, Francisco Lindor and the Mets have agreed to a 10-year contract extension. Now that we're in April, baseball is finally back and the 2021 Major League Baseball season is underway now that we are in April. Spring training has come to an end and we have just had opening day for all 30 teams in the last few days. Now for the Rockies, they were able to have their opening day and start the season on the first day here at Coors Field, which hasn't happened in the last few years. Usually the Rockies start their season on the road and then have opening day a week later, but this year it was different, and it was good to see the Rockies begin their season here at Coors Field, and they landed up winning against the Dodgers on opening day. Usually the Rockies play good on opening day, especially here at Coors Field, and they won another opening day. So that was one good thing for the Rockies to start off the 2021 season. Now it's great to see that there is going to be a 2021 season, and it will be a full season, and it won't be like the 2020 season, which was only a 60-game season. But with the way 2020 played out due to the coronavirus pandemic, for almost a few months it looked like a 2020 season wasn't going to happen. But there was a 2020 season. It was only a 60-game season, but it was just great to see there was a season, even though fans were not allowed at baseball stadiums, which is different in 2021. Fans are allowed at all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums. The only thing that's different is it's a limited amount of fans. It's not full stadiums. Hopefully that changes as the season progresses going into the summer or in the second half of the season. Baseball teams are hoping that by sometime this summer they can have full capacity and function the way they do prior to 2020 and the coronavirus pandemic. But with the coronavirus pandemic, nothing is guaranteed, and we're going to have to wait and see what happens. There's no doubt that the coronavirus pandemic affected the 2020 season, and it will likely still affect the 2021 season, but it's just great to see that baseball is back and the fans are allowed to go to ballparks no matter what team it is. So that's the great thing about this Major League Baseball season. Something that's different too is the Toronto Blue Jays are not playing at Rogers Centre in Toronto, Canada. They are playing at their spring training facility down in Florida. Regardless of who it is, regardless if it's sport related or it's not, Canada is really not allowing people to travel back and forth or go in and out of Canada. So, including the NBA, the NHL, and Major League Baseball, they have been affected by the coronavirus pandemic and with the situation in Canada. So the Blue Jays are playing down in Florida, but also the Toronto Raptors are playing down in Florida as well. And all the NHL teams in Canada are playing each other in Canada. They're not playing teams down in the US. So for the NHL, it's okay with that situation. But for Major League Baseball and the NBA, it's a little bit different, and they had to have the Toronto teams come down to the US so they could play the rest of the teams since they're all in the US. They also wanted both Toronto teams in Major League Baseball and in the NBA to participate in this season in their league Because if they would have stayed in Toronto, there's no way they would have been able to play. So they had to relocate somewhere in the US so they would be able to play. With the Blue Jays last year, they had to play down in Buffalo. And this season, they're playing down in Florida. And it's not just affecting Major League Baseball, it's also affecting the Raptors in the NBA and the NHL teams. So, hopefully, that Canada situation changes sometime in the next few months so that the Blue Jays can go back to Toronto and play at the Rogers Centre, but also the Raptors can go back to Toronto and the US teams in the NHL can play the Canada teams. So we'll have to wait and see when that situation changes, but that's the status of that situation with Canada as of right now. And it is different to see the Blue Jays play here in the US, and even last season with teams going to Buffalo to play the Blue Jays, it's even different this season with teams going down to Florida to play the Blue Jays. So just in the last few days, the 2021 season has begun, and all 30 teams have had their opening day, and it's just great to see that baseball is underway. Baseball is back. It's definitely one of my favorite sports. I miss going to baseball games and to Coors Field last year. So far, I have went to a few games at Coors Field this season. I'm going to continue doing that. Hopefully that situation changes sometime in the next few weeks. And hopefully, later on this season, I could travel to the new Ranger Stadium down in Arlington, Texas. I have not been to that stadium. I definitely want to see it. And I want to go to a few other stadiums. Hopefully that can happen this season. If not, hopefully next season. But I'm just glad that I'm able to go to Coors Field and watch the Rockies. I definitely missed that last season. Believe it or not, the last time I went to any baseball game, especially a Rockies game, was in September 2019. So it's been a year and a half since I even stepped foot into a baseball stadium, especially Coors Field. So I was definitely excited to go to opening day and to go to some other games at Coors Field because it's definitely been a long time. But I'm definitely looking forward to this season, even though it's going to be different. But I hope that the situation changes sometime in the next few months. And regardless of what team you root for, even if you root for the Rockies and you're a fan of the Rockies like I am, it's a long season. Anything can happen. We've seen that with the 2007 Rockies. Who would have thought that team would have made it to the playoffs? And look, they made it all the way to the World Series, even though they didn't win. So, just because your team is not favored to even make it into the playoffs doesn't mean they can make a postseason run and potentially win the World Series, like the Nationals did in 2019. So regardless if your team's favored to win it all or your team's not even favored to get into the playoffs, just remember, we have seen everything happen no matter what league it is, and it's a long season. It's a 6-month regular season, and believe me, what the Rockies did in 2007 and what other teams have done in the past, don't count out any team, even though it looks like only certain teams will make it all the way. But there could definitely be a surprise team. And with it being a long season, and teams have their ups and downs throughout the season, anything can happen. So I'm just looking forward to the 2021 season, and I can't wait to see who wins the World Series in 2021. Also, make sure to tune in to All Sports with Gerardo on the next episode because Major League Baseball had a big announcement. I'm not going to share it on this episode, but I will share the big Major League Baseball announcement in the next episode. And you definitely want to know what this announcement is, and I can't wait to announce what this is. So make sure to tune in to All Sports with Gerardo next week. In the Major League Baseball Power Rankings, the current top 10 Major League Baseball teams are the Dodgers, Padres, Yankees, Braves, White Sox, Twins, Mets, Rays, Blue Jays, and Cardinals. Moving on now to NFL football. The NFL approved a 17-game regular season, and the preseason will only be 3 games. Now, a lot of NFL players were not in favor of this move, but it is a great move because there should be less preseason games because most of them are meaningless, especially the first and last game, and the only ones that are competitive are the second and third one. And now, eliminating a preseason game and turning it into a regular season game will be a great thing for the NFL and for the fans. So I'm definitely looking forward to an extra regular season game. And it's a great thing for the NFL, especially if they want to make a higher profit and not have so many preseason games that are meaningless, because the regular season games are the games that matter. So this is a great move for the NFL, and I'm definitely looking forward to this move in the 2021 NFL season. The Buccaneers are the first Super Bowl champion to return every starter since 1979. So once the Buccaneers signed Tom Brady, I gave the Buccaneers a chance at reaching and potentially winning the Super Bowl, and they landed up winning Super Bowl 55. Now, after a team wins the Super Bowl, they lose a lot of their starters. But the Buccaneers didn't lose any starters, and they landed up re-signing a lot of players. And with every starter coming back in the 2021 season, there's a great chance the Buccaneers will potentially get to Super Bowl 56, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win Super Bowl 56. But they have a legit chance at winning back-to-back Super Bowls. And I wasn't surprised to see them win Super Bowl 55. I actually had them as one of the teams favored to win Super Bowl 55 because they got Tom Brady. You can't count out any team that has Tom Brady, no matter if it's the Patriots or now the Buccaneers. But with almost every player that they have from last season returning for this season, I wouldn't count out the Buccaneers, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to Super Bowl 56 and won Super Bowl 56. But they definitely have a great chance at winning Super Bowl 56. Colt McCoy and the Cardinals have agreed to a 1-year contract. Sammy Watkins and the Ravens have agreed to a 1-year contract. Tyler Lockett and the Seahawks have agreed to a 4-year contract extension. The Jets traded Sam Darnold to the Panthers in exchange for a 2021 6th-round draft pick, a 2022 second and 4th-round draft pick. Now that we are in April, it's almost that time of year. The NFL draft is just around the corner, and it's at the end of April, and I'm definitely looking forward to the 2021 NFL draft, and it will be in Cleveland this year. And I'm definitely excited for this draft. It's one of the drafts out of the last few drafts that I am definitely looking forward to. And I can't wait to see what happens in the 2021 NFL draft, especially in the first round. Moving on now to NBA basketball, Greg Popovich moved into 3rd in all-time coaching wins. Carmelo Anthony moved into 16th in all-time field goals made. Russell Westbrook is the first player in NBA history to post a 35-plus point and 20-plus assist triple-double. Nikola Jokic was named Western Conference Player of the Month. Nikola Jokic is the first Nuggets player to win this award twice in a single season. One good thing about Ball Arena here in Denver, Colorado is that they are allowing fans at the arena for Nuggets and Avalanche games for the rest of the season. Especially if you're a Nuggets or Avalanche fan like I am, this is one thing you've been waiting for, and it's one thing I am definitely looking forward to. Even though it's only about 4,000 fans, it's just great to see that fans are back in the stands for the Nuggets and Avalanche games. I'm hoping that I can get tickets to one of the games sometime in the next month, especially that the regular season is coming to an end in the next few weeks for both the Nuggets and Avalanche, and right now it looks like both teams will make it into the playoffs once again. So it'll be great to see, especially if both the Nuggets and Avalanche make it into the playoffs, that they will likely have fans in the stands for the playoff games, and hopefully this season both teams can advance further in the playoffs and potentially reach the Western Conference Finals or reach the championship game. I would like to see the Nuggets finally reach the NBA Finals and possibly win it. I'd like to see the Avalanche reach the Western Conference Finals and get to the Stanley Cup and potentially win it. They have been close, they have fell short, but this season's different, and I think they have a legit chance at reaching the Stanley Cup final and potentially winning the Stanley Cup. They have a great team, they have made a lot of moves, they have a legit chance, and they are definitely favored to win the Stanley Cup this season. Even the Nuggets, they have made moves at the trade deadline. They have become a better team. They have a legit chance at potentially advancing far in the playoffs, and hopefully they can reach the Western Conference Finals again like they did last season, but now reach the NBA Finals and possibly win it. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. But both the Nuggets and Avalanche have a legit chance at advancing far in the playoffs, but it's just great to see that Ball Arena is allowing fans at Nuggets and Avalanche games for the rest of the season. Hopefully they can increase the capacity. I know it's hard to get tickets and they're pretty expensive, but it's just great to see that if you are able to grab tickets to Nuggets or Avalanche games, that you are allowed to go to Ball Arena and watch these games in person. So hopefully sometime soon I can attend a Nuggets or Avalanche game. That is one thing I'm definitely looking forward to after I have been able to attend Rockies games at Coors Field. The Magic traded Aaron Gordon to the Nuggets in exchange for Gary Harris, R.J. Hampton, and a future first-round draft pick. The Cavaliers traded JaVale McGee to the Nuggets. The Rockets traded Victor Oladipo to the Heat. The Hawks traded Rajon Rondo to the Clippers in exchange for Lou Williams. The Magic traded Nikola Vucevic and Al Forhi-Anu to the Bulls. Drew Holiday and the Bucks have agreed to a 4-year max contract extension. So right now I'm going to update you with the current NBA standings in the Eastern and Western Conference. To start off in the Eastern Conference, the Sixers have the first seed, the Nets have the second seed, the Bucks have the third seed, the Hawks have the fourth seed, the Celtics have the fifth seed, the Knicks have the sixth seed, the Heat have the seventh seed, and the Hornets have the eighth seed. And the Pacers are in the ninth seed. They also have a chance at getting into the top 8 in the Eastern Conference. In the Western Conference, the Jazz have the 1 seed, the Suns have the second seed, the Clippers have the third seed, the Nuggets have the fourth seed, the Lakers have the fifth seed, the Trailblazers have the sixth seed, the Mavericks have the seventh seed, the Grizzlies have the eighth seed, and there's a few teams that could potentially reach and get in to the top 8 in the Western Conference, and this includes the Warriors, the Spurs, and the Pelicans. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens in the NBA in regards to the current standings in the Eastern and Western Conference and what teams make it into the playoffs. But after the trade deadline passed, there are some teams in both the Eastern and Western Conference that have a higher chance at making it into the playoffs after they improve their team at the trade deadline so they can make their team better and so their team has a better chance at making it into the postseason. And there's only a few more weeks left of the regular season, so I'm definitely looking forward to what teams make it into the playoffs in both the Eastern and Western Conference. So that's the current NBA standings in the Eastern and Western Conference. Moving on now to NHL hockey. So right now I'm going to update you with the current NHL standings in the Eastern and Western Conference. In the NHL, the division standings go off the amount of points the team scored, not by the wins or losses by the team. So if we take a look at the NHL standings, they did have to change the divisions due to the coronavirus pandemic, and there is a North division for this season because the Canada teams have to play against the Canada teams. They cannot travel down to the US and play US teams, and the US teams cannot travel up to Canada and play Canada teams. So all the Canada teams are going against each other, and they have their own division, which is the North Division. So that is one thing that was different about this season and how the coronavirus pandemic affected this NHL season. So to start off in the Central Division, right now the Hurricanes are leading this division at 58 points, and the Lightning are also tied with the Hurricanes at 58 points. And right behind the Hurricanes and the Lightning are the Panthers, and they're also tied at 58 points. So we got a three-way tie between the Hurricanes, Lightning, and Panthers in the Central Division. In the East Division, right now, the Capitals are leading this division at 60 points. And right behind the Capitals are the Islanders at 58 points. And even the Penguins are right behind the Islanders at 56 points. In the West Division, right now the Avalanche are leading this division at 64 points. And right behind the Avalanche are the Golden Knights at 60 points. And in the North Division, right now the Maple Leafs are leading this division at 60 points. And the next closest team to the Maple Leafs is the Jets at 55 points. So that's the current NHL standings in the Eastern and Western Conference. Moving on now to end the show with to watch for this week in sports. Opening day, the beginning of the 2021 Major League Baseball season. The Rockies, Major League Baseball, the Nuggets, NBA basketball, the Avalanche, NHL hockey. Moving on now, on the next show, I will talk about NFL football, Major League Baseball, NBA basketball, and NHL hockey. I hope you all have a great week. Tune in to the next All Sports with Gerardo show next week. I want to say thank you to everybody that listens to All Sports. Subscribe or like my pages on social media at All Sports with Gerardo. Until next time, this is Gerardo.